So, today's topic of discussion is one of the most practically useful ones. Okay. Acceptance of everything favorable to Krishna consciousness, favorable to the interest of Krishna, and elimination of everything, rejection of everything unfavorable to life of Krishna consciousness. Okay. So, just even relating to this, even reflecting on this subject matter in a basic way, in our daily life, what we see. We always want to do that. Okay, we consciously want to follow this principle. Okay, even want to speak more of, very higher Krishna consciousness, divine Krishna consciousness. We even want to apply such principle, follow such ways, such principle in our daily life, just to live a better life. See, we always accept the things which are favorable to our interest, life's interest, and just try to reject all which is not so favorable, which we consider so harmful, detrimental to our life. Do we go forward to accept them consciously? No. We avoid them. Okay. Simply ignore them, avoid them. So we just understand about this principle just by common sense. By common sense, by our natural feelings of necessity of life in order to survive. What to accept, what not to accept. Certain things to accept in our life which we consider greatly favorable and beneficial, bringing so much benefits and good to us. And we simply want to avoid and reject those things which we consider not so good, or not good at all, so harmful to our life. So, this is one of the very natural ways of life, natural ways of life principles. In other words, this is one of our natural fundamental principles of living a good life, better life, proper life, life with appropriate development. So, this is one of the fundamental principles of life which we must follow. Otherwise, we invite so much sufferings, so much degradation, distress, sufferings. It's simply like that. We have to eliminate all our sickness in order to maintain our health. It cannot be like that. We don't want to reject our sickness, our sickly lifestyle, sickly ways of life, at the same time want to live a very healthy life. It becomes self-contradictory. You cannot make self-contradiction. In one way, we're trying to uphold a healthy life. In one way, Okay, we're trying to remain healthy, following all great health principles, okay, to keep us healthy. On the other hand, we're doing those very things which are so unhealthy for us, which makes us sick. But we're also doing that, continuing, allowing those things in our life. Then we cannot be properly healthy. Healthy and unhealthy stuffs cannot be going on in our life together. It's paradox, self-contradictory. So we understand it by simple common sense. Sometimes question may arise. Okay, we understand acceptance of everything. So favorable to our higher life, divine, higher spiritual life, divine life. Okay. Life of Krishna consciousness is very well understood. But while it comes to the point of acceptance of rejection, then sometimes we have to put some extra thought, we have to think over carefully that we don't become unkind, don't become so unkind, like cruel, just to reject something, because the word rejection, the heavy connotation, one of the heavy things, I'm just rejecting it or eliminating it without giving proper consideration to something, because something I consider is not so favorable to my good life of comfort and life of higher happiness. So I just want to reject it. I'm being selfish. I'm being a bit unkind. I can also be a bit inconsiderate to what I am rejecting, just because it's not happening to be so favorable to my lifestyle, higher comfortable lifestyle, what I consider to be very good for me, because it's not happening to be so favorable to my life of Krishna consciousness. But yet, those elements have got some place in their own way, on their own level, existing. So if I take certain active role of rejecting them from my life, maybe I am doing some injustice to those. I'm being unkind. Maybe I can stay neutral. Neither my involvement with it, nor rejection. Neither involving, associating with it, nor eliminating, taking some active part of elimination of that. Yes? It's also a good question. Therefore, we have to understand there are different relative levels of understanding what is really good, what is really bad for us. In our life, in the field of living our life in this world, there are so many things we are involving with. They're neither good nor bad. Just they become good or bad as per time, place, situation, controlled by different time, place, situations. Sometimes some of them become so good according to some favorable time, place, situation, and the same things may not be favorable can be bad, can bring negative effects in our life if the time, place, situation is different. Okay. There are many things involved in our life, I repeat, there are many such things, involving in our lifestyle we are living with. So we understand by themselves they are not neither good nor bad. It's like water has no color. Water doesn't have its own color. Whatever pot, whatever container you put, the water seems to be colored by the color of that pot. By itself, it doesn't have color. I mean, transparent water. So there are many things like that. They are neither good nor bad. Neither to be accepted nor to be rejected. It simply depends on certain time, specific time, place, situations, my own personal mood, and which way I am going to accept or relate to that thing. So depending on such terms and conditions, depending on such conditions of time, place, situation, my personal mood, whether they need to be accepted or rejected. There are many such things in our life. When we have proper use of them, they are so good. When we have the misuse of the same things, they are so bad. Basically, same or similar things. I repeat, when we have appropriate use, very proper use, utility in our life, they are so good, so beneficial. As soon as we have misuses of them, they become so bad. And many such examples like eating, drinking, sleeping, then
smartphone.
Using smartphones, one of the very good examples. So enjoying. When we have excess, when we have all of this in excessive way, they become our enemies. They bring all the bad effects because of the overuse. Excessive use, it becomes misuse. If we do overeating, we throw up. It makes us sick. So when we are hungry, as we eat healthy, nutritious food, just to satisfy our hunger in a proportionate way, I repeat, when we eat foodstuffs according to our hunger in a proportionate way, it is so good, so healthy for us. As soon as we start overeating, it is continued, it becomes bad for our health. Same food which is meant to satisfy us and give us nutrition now acts differently. We have to throw, our body throws up, it makes us sick instead of bringing sustenance, nutrition. Similarly, if we are over drinking, when you're drinking water overly, excessively, reactions. If you don't drink water when we are thirsty, then it is also bad. When we are drinking water just according to our necessity, according to our thirst, no more, much, no less, very good. Same water becomes bad when we drink excessively. We cannot live our life without water. We cannot live our life without fire, without water, without air, without food. But look, when a person getting drowned in the same water, it is causing the death of life. instead of sustaining life, the same water, used differently. Okay. Same air can be very poisonous for us. Similar air, we need air, but on the face of storm, too much air, too much wind, it can suffocate us, cause death. Using fire. Same fire is so helpful to live our life sustaining, maintaining. We cannot live our life without heat, without fire. But when the same fire is misused, same heat is misused, because it burns us. When we make wrong use of the fire, it simply burns our life, causing our death. We need heat. Cannot live without heat in the winter season. But when it becomes too hot, overheating, it is distressful. See, so basically, I can give you many more examples like this. Everywhere around me, such example. So there's nothing wrong with those things, those elements. The definition of good and bad around them. In other words, they become good or bad according to our ways of use, according to proper use or misuse. Therefore, we all need to be very intelligent and knowledgeable to apply things properly in our life. We need to be very intelligent and expert making the implementations of different things in our life, especially in the life of divine Krishna consciousness. Therefore, holy scriptures, great Mahajanas, exalted, realized devotees always advise us, guide us to become intelligent. They always tell us, advise us, be enlightened, be illuminated, get out of the ignorance, be freed from ignorance, and embrace the world of lights and wisdom. Be illuminated, be enlightened. Be inviting and embrace the divine knowledge, lights of divine knowledge. Okay. The truths, illuminated truths of divinity, and make your life illuminated instead of living under the so-called satisfaction of the darkness of ignorance. There is a saying called bliss of ignorance. Living in bliss of ignorance is not a good idea at all. If at the time being it looks to be so good, it feels to be so good and fine, but as the time passes by, in the long run, the bad results start coming. The bad effects begin to come, then we realize, it was not that good, what I thought of. So, there are examples given in the scripture, that of Seyo and that of Preyo. Seyo means something. Seyo means something, some truth. Starting in our life, taking place in our life with some bitter taste in the beginning, like bitter medicines. But as it continues in my life, it continues with me, it brings a sweet to sweeter and sweetest result. In the long run, long process. I repeat. So though those things in the beginning seem to be not so good, not so pleasant, like bitter medicines, like some exercise. People in the beginning, they don't want to do exercise, become lazy, but as they put some energy, as they enter into that, get into that, slowly and steadily understand, okay, I feel good about it, it's required for my health. But in the beginning, thinking, oh, so austere, I don't like it. The same person gets into certain liking to do the same exercise when gets into the flow, thinking, yes, it is necessary. Now I also start liking. It's like some of the yogic stretches and doing pranayama. In the beginning, yoga students don't know how to like. Oh, they think, what's the big deal of taking long breath and releasing breath? I'm breathing in and out all the time. So what's the big deal? So because they cannot figure out yet, because they have not figured out yet what is real pranayama, what is the pleasant sensation through pranayama. They have not yet experienced. So that's what they think in the beginning. I don't feel like. But once they get into the rhythm, some higher comfortable rhythms of doing pranayama, at some point it can be intoxicating, it can be so attractive. I have also experienced that in my life. Oh, you want to continue hours after hours. You want to be continuing hours after hours. Same with the great meditation. In the beginning, you think, oh, what is this? You think, I don't like, I can't concentrate. But once you get into that world, and once it clicks in you, I use the term, it is clicking in you. It's not clicking. Once it clicks in you, then at some point it's marvelous, wonderful feelings. Oh, I wish to live in this state of meditation for hours, for days. Now I realize, now I understand. I'm realizing why the great yogis want to continue with meditation, sitting in one place, hours, days, months. How could it be possible? I could not understand in the beginning. And now I start realizing it is possible. Otherwise, how long one can be sitting in one place? You get tired. It's impossible for a human being to be sitting in one place in asana and in meditation, until they really get something, really receive something, okay, very, very interesting and attractive, and do not want to go away from that. Okay, that's the real taste of the meditation. And great yogis, they do that. Whether or not we directly realize about the happiness of higher bliss of meditation doesn't matter, but we can simply apply our common sense and try to understand intellectually. A person cannot be sitting in one place for a long time. How long? Just without receiving anything, without receiving a special happiness. A person cannot just go on in that way, sitting in one place for days, months. Must be getting something very, very wonderful, attractive, which is more attractive than the movements here and going here and there and all. See? So, similar like with yogic stretches, in the beginning, it doesn't feel so good. But as we go on, as we be continuing our life with some yoga asanas, yogic stretches, everyday life, at some point we get so habituated. If we don't do it, someday if we don't do it, we are missing something. Oh, I feel like doing this stretch, that stretch. I don't feel better without it. See, when you have developed a relationship with that world of self. So why am I giving you all these examples? There's some example of the swimming also. I don't want to go into the water, don't want to swim. At some point, when learning swimming and enjoying it, love to swim. So, Sreya, the science of Sreya means something starting, something beginning with not very good attractive feelings. Okay, beginning with like the experience like bitter medicines or some austere, some kind of exercise or yogic stretches. Or sometimes we have to read the textbook in order to have education. Reading our textbooks to prepare for exams and all, we don't feel like. But as whether or not we feel good about it, very tasty about it, okay, very attractive about it in the beginning, but still, by talking to us, by making us understand it is good for me, it is very good for me, very healthy for me, whether or not I like it right now, and just continue with that, the more it brings taste and good, positive results in our life. So it no more remains as bitter. It becomes sweet to sweeter, sweetest, very, very, okay, tasteful. That is called Sreya. So which is beginning with some bitter taste like bitter medicine, but as you go further and further with it, it becomes sweet, brings very beneficial results to us, great good. But on the other hand, prayer, just opposite to that. It begins with some great fun and attraction, taste, like eating junk food, like kids in the candy store, the way kids feel being in the candy store, they say in the Western world. So, kids think, I only want to eat candies and chocolate, no other food. But then, as it goes on and on, as it continues, it brings so much bad effect. It becomes bitter and bitter. In the beginning, it starts with a sweet thing, very sweet, attractive thing. Greatly enjoyable. As it goes further and further, brings all bad results, great harm in our life. That is called prayer. So, our Guru Varga, the holy saints and the holy scriptures say, never be following the path of prayer. Always accept the path of Sreya. Always embrace, accept the path of Sreya. Meaning, just what I have just explained. Okay? That is Anukula. That is so favorable to you. So, that's a great friend to you. Accept, embrace your great friend and eliminate your enemy, which is called prayer. Path of prayer. She has tied me, bound with time frame. Oh.
You want to know more?
See. So back to the point. So it is a quite natural process, natural healthy process. Very healthy principle to live high class, to live a very healthy and better life. Okay. What is that process principle? Elimination and acceptance. Making our progress. We often make our progress in our life in this dynamic, following through such dynamic process. Okay, as we are making our advancement in life, in the course of our advancement and development, we always need to eliminate certain things, certain stages, certain states of our life in order to, for our further acceptance. Okay, in order to make enough space for accommodation for our further acceptance. So, acceptance through elimination. So, but we have to be very, very careful, and we need to be well trained how to do that. We have to be very sure and very careful, very confident about what we are doing. Should I eliminate this in order to accept this? Or how much should I eliminate? How much should I not eliminate in order to have further acceptance? So it has to be understood with the proper lights of knowledge. Because there are many things in our lives which cannot be defined straight away, in a straight-cut way, a simple straight way, black and white way. Oh, these are good, these are bad. There are certain things in our life which we can define, which we can just know in a straight black and white way. These are good and these are evil. No doubt about it. But besides it, there are many other things, many other aspects in our life we cannot actually define in a straight black and white manner. Oh, they're just good or bad. Okay. So, because they become good or bad in our life, or the same things become good and bad in our life, depending on different time, place, situations, my own personal mood, individual mood, or collective consciousness, or they are all depending on certain conditions. But those things are neither, as I've just explained, neither good nor bad by their own. They are just other beings existing in their own way, okay, as they are. Okay, cannot be just defined by me from my standard of interest compared to my standard of interest. Oh, they're good or they're bad. Okay, I cannot be the Lord. I cannot be the Lord of such type of judgment. Okay, I cannot have such type of prejudices. Okay, a prejudiced judgment to say, they're good or bad, because they are not so befitting to my interest, not promoting my interest, so they are bad. Those which are promoting my interest, good. So we cannot have that kind of, temperament. Cannot have, that kind of stand, relative, in some certain relative, conditional way, conditioned way of prejudiced judgment, relatively conditioned judgmental ways to understand good and bad. So, but they need to be defined, whether they're good or bad to my higher spiritual life of Krishna consciousness, and how much they are good or how much they are bad. Not that they're fully good or fully bad. How much they can be good and how much they can be bad according to certain time, place, situations, my own ability and disability, to relate to those things. So it's all conditional. So our elimination and acceptance about those things will also be dependent on how we are going to relate to it and how much, how they are going to be utilized, how much utility they have got in relation to me in my life of Krishna consciousness, how much use they do not have, or rather, how much harm they can cause if I accept them in a wrong way, in a wrong quantity or wrong manner, then how much should I eliminate of those things? So it's all varying. It's all varying, depending. Okay? Concept of our elimination of or acceptance of those same things, I repeat, the conception of or elimination or rejection or acceptance of those things as favorable to Krishna consciousness, varying depending on time, place, situations, my own conditions, and according to how much I need them to support and help, sustain my life of Krishna consciousness. So, like medicines. Same medicines, while you are taking, following the proper dosage, they're working so fine, working as medicine, curing us. But suppose you take the same medicines in overdosage, what will happen? Same medicines will be acting as your enemy, will make you sick, more sick. Same health tonic, taken a proportionate dosage, it is very good for health. But you just drink the whole bottle, same time, it will bring bad result. So that's what I'm talking about. Now back to the point. But on the whole, overall, the process, a very healthy process and principles of acceptance of those things favorable to a higher divine life of Krishna consciousness, and rejection or elimination of those things unfavorable to the same life, has to be followed. Such healthy principles. Such practical, realistic principles must be followed, in order to make progress. Like when you're trying to be liberated, you are wanting to be open, enjoy liberation, then you have to come out of the bondage. You have to be freed from conditioning, limitations of the bondage. Both things cannot happen together. Oh, I want to be so open-hearted, open-minded. I want to be in full happiness of freedom and liberation. At the same time, I'm binding myself, conditioning myself, limiting myself, in a very narrow way, self-contradictory. Similarly, with the conditioned jivas, need to go out of the conditioning, be freed from conditionings. Therefore, eliminations of those things, rejection of those things which are causing our heavy conditionings, the conditionings of illusion, delusions, which is limiting ourselves so much. That is like death. We have to eliminate, reject that part, which is not favorable to our, open, high-class life, divine life of Krishna consciousness, of nectarine liberation. So therefore, this would be rejected. So, again, we have to reject everything which making us sick. We have to accept everything which promotes, upholds, maintains, supporting our health. Simple thing. And such advice and most valuable guidance, on this is found throughout many scriptural verses, throughout many holy texts, in the instructions, words of great wise devotees, great divine wisdom, in the words of the Supreme Lord through the scriptures. That if you want to make real progress, make real advancement, you have to know to do it. So, rejecting the evil in order to embrace the good. So, now, I just refer to those verses. My time is limited. So, so like the verses. For reference, verses like Anukulla Sasankalpa, Pratikulla Vivarjanam, Rakshishati Vishasho, Kaptritte Baranam Tatha, Atmaniksheba Karpamni, Sarvidha Sharanagati. So in the very beginning of defining our life of surrender, devotional surrender, I repeat, in the very beginning, at the very starting point of explaining and defining our life of pure devotion in relation to Krishna, this is explained. Anukulla Sankalpa, Pratikulla Vivarjana. You must learn about, how to accept everything, how to completely accept everything as favorable to your life of Krishna consciousness and reject everything so unfavorable to the same life divine. Unless and until you efficiently learn how to do it, you cannot make proper progress. It's like that. When you want to live a healthy life, you cannot live in a filthy way, in a sickly way. You will get infected. You have to reject a sickly lifestyle, sickly environment, with germs and disease and viruses. You have to totally reject them in order to live a very healthy life. Simple thing. So, you have to reject the evil in order to embrace the good. Reject the untruth in order to embrace the truth. While we are moving towards the lights, we have to eliminate darkness. Relatively speaking. So, see, where we are moving from death towards deathlessness, from mortality towards immortality. So we are naturally eliminating the state of mortality, going towards immortality. So very simple to understand. See, the same truth, same reality principle have been explained in different ways throughout the scriptures, such as I just only give you only few examples. Like we often know, we are supposed to reject all our 6 enemies: Kam, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mad, Matsarja. So they're called 6 great enemies in our life, in the life of our progress and development. In order to make real progress, higher divine progress, we need to have full control, eliminate our bad habits, bad ways, bad trends, notions of our life and trends of life as described in Upadeshamritam to the verse Vacho Vegam Manasa Krodha Vegam Jihava Vegam Udaram Upastha Vegam Etan Vegan Yo Vishahita Dhira Sarvama Pivam Prithiving Sashishat. Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhu is advising us, telling us, you must try to be eliminating all such beggars, such troublesome urges, trouble-giving urges in your life. Vacho Vegam, your bad notions, bad urges of speaking bad words, bad words, engaging in some bad negative talkings, harmful, unhealthy talkings all the time. So, Vacho must control that, must eliminate that habit. Manasya Krodha Vegam, you must eliminate your bad mental urges, very bad urges, so the evil urges of your anger. So you must eliminate the bad urges of your words, speeches, bad urges of your mind, evil urges of your anger, greed, your sense gratification, over sense gratifications all, because they are not really friendly to you. They are your enemies. In order to make proper progress in higher spiritual life divine. I'm explaining in my own words. You can read the translations from the book. So, Bhakti Nandan Thakur again explaining in his song, O he Vaishnava Thakur Dayaro Saguru Vedashi Karuna. There he refers to the same truth, mentions the same as Chai Begodomi, Chai Doshashadhi, Chai Gunadeho Dashi. Again, same principle of rejection and acceptance. You see, Chai Begodomi, O Lord, O Vaishnava Thakur, please bless me with such ability, such strength, so that I can keep control. I can fully control over all these troublesome urges. 6 types of troublesome urges. Chai Begodami. And I can rectify myself with 6 types of faults, shortcomings in my life. In order to reject those, in order to embrace 6 types of holy associations in my life. So it is explained in the song, O he Vaishnava Thakur Dayaro Saguru. See. So, referring in relation to Upadeshamritam, Thakur Bhakti Nandan is simply referring to the advices of Upadeshamritam given by Rupa Goswami in this song. Rupa Goswami already described over there about the 6 enemies, 6 types of troublesome urges and faults, and also 6 types of satsanga, holy associations through that verse. Utsaha nischaya dharja tat karma pravakshana sangat tyagat sato vritti sarvir bhakti prasiddhati. So Sri Rupa, in Upadeshamritam verses, Sri Rupa Goswami Prabhu spoke in both ways. In the beginning, he spoke about what to eliminate, what to be eliminating, rejecting from our life in order to make progress, advance in our higher devotional life of Krishna consciousness, and what to reject. What to reject, and also what to accept. Six ways, six very beautiful, wonderful, positive, ways which are so helpful, so beneficial in order to promote, develop, blossom in our higher life divine of Krishna consciousness. Describe both. So, it is very much a necessity to understand this truth and apply in our life. Clear? Now, again, back to the point of, there are certain things in our life which we have to be very careful about. We cannot just reject in black and white way. We cannot just define them straight away as good or bad. They can be very good when I am accepting in a proper way, proper manner, according to my necessity, in order to promote my life of Krishna consciousness. They can be very beneficial. And same things can be detrimental, not working as very favorable to our life of Krishna consciousness when we are accepting them in a more misused way. Like I gave you so many examples in the beginning. So, sometimes what happens in our life, we come across some bad people, not so good people. And if we just always think, I just need to reject the association. Only just reject, eliminate, and I stay in a safe way, protecting myself. That is better for me. Yes, that's a good principle. That is a useful principle. Rejecting the bad association in order to stay in good association, only accepting the good holy association in life and rejecting all bad association of bad people. It's good. No doubt, good principle needed. But also besides such principles, there are principles, high-class Vaishnava principles of kindness, nobility, noble principles of not just straight away rejecting those bad people, but trying to help those people to get rectified and make them good by their some higher power of mode of goodness, instead of just rejecting and going away without helping them. Because we know on this mundane plane of existence, we are always faced with good and bad experiences, good and evil experiences in our life. Today, someone is in good conditioning, can be found tomorrow some bad conditioning. That doesn't necessarily mean that that person became bad. It's a bad time. Adverse situation came. So due to some situational reason or due to some effects of the past karma and bad situational effects and all, that person became bad. But originally, fundamentally, he's not that bad. He or she is not that bad. So we also need to be open-hearted, to be kind. But while we are being kind to those, those conditionally bad people, who are not originally, from the very original level, fundamentally bad, but they became, such negative change came, worse change came in them due to time, place, situations, and bad karma. But after all, jiva was so conditioned. So, our principles would be those who are able with higher ability, higher strength, should be not to accept, not to take the association of their bad stuffs in their life, not to accept those bad things in my life. Like doctors, treating the infectious, very contagious patients. How do you call contagious patients? So, not accepting the sickness, remaining very careful to treat that contagious patient. Not to accept the sickness, but treat the sickness. Make the patient cured and healthy. In a similar way, also such is the higher principle of a great Vaishnava, great devotee of Lord, to help those bad people. What happened? They became bad due to bad association, bad effects, bad karma. But basically, jiva soul, another jiva soul, also another conditioned son and daughter of the Lord, children of the Lord. So, helping those sickly people, bad people, rectify them, helping them to become better, to become good. That is more noble, instead of just summarily rejecting and stay protected just for my own survival, just stay protected and well guarded. That is also needed for the common devotees, neophyte common devotees, who are not qualified, who are not so strong to fight the bad association. Rather, if they take bad association, they try to help them, they will be affected by the strong bad effect, bad influence. Instead of rectifying them to make them good, they will fall prey, victim. So it's not advisable. Not advisable for the neophyte level of devotees. It is better for them to stay away from bad association. Eliminate the bad association and only be embracing, accepting the good association and be thriving, be developing. But I'm talking about the application of such noble principle of helping others, trying to rectify bad people, from the bad conditioning to become good. Is only applicable for some devotees, high-class devotees with superior ability, with the superior strength, higher strength and ability, who can digest some portion of the evil effects and will not be affected by that, and like an ideal doctor can treat them and cure them and make them healthy. So, it is applicable. Such higher principles of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, magnanimous Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Mahaprabhu, great Vaishnava, is applicable for those Vaishnavas who have that ability, a stronger ability. So, but that principle also there, besides rejection of the evil, rejection of the bad stuff, trying to help the bad stuff to become good, transform bad into the good ones, also there in our life. Okay, and therefore all throughout many scriptures, what we see Atan Nirasana as great personalities like Sri Shukadev Goswami, Vyasadeva, okay, all other higher realized souls, pure devotees, as they spoke about so many positive things to promote us, to help us be promoted, blossoming, developing and be fully blossomed, okay, in our spiritual life. They also spoke a lot of things. They spent some time, energy, explaining about Lord of what not to accept. So do's and don'ts. Simple language. They spoke about both sides. What to be done, what not to be done. What to do, what not to be. What to do, what not to do. So must follow do's and don'ts. Yeah. Simple. So now the second phase, today's topic, why do you worship material things?
Yes. Why?
Because it happens to be like, see, I give you one example, quoting from the Holy Scripture. I refer to one example. Once it so happened that Indra, the king of heaven, it's a nice story, educative story. The king of heaven, Indra, did something very wrong, got cursed, came down to this earth, born in the earth in pig's family, hog's family. I think you may know about the story. Then that curse was made in such a way, there's a certain period. After such duration of time period, you will be liberated. Your time for liberation from the hog's body, pig's body will come. Then you will be liberated and come back to the heaven and become Indra again, king of heaven. Once your period of the punishment is over. So it so happened that Indra, king of heaven, had to come down to the earth. Due to the effect of curse, he had to be born as a hog, a pig. And then at some point, he had a very nice family life. He had many children, many offsprings, had so-called nice pig's life, with so much food to eat. The situation which are so filthy and unhealthy, environment for us, for humans, human standard, it's just normal for them, for pig's life. So that Indra in the form of pig was enjoying that lifestyle normal. At some point, Brahmaji, great well-wisher of that Indra, Brahmaji, remembered, the time has already arrived for this Indra in the body of a pig to get liberated and come back to the heaven. But it cannot remember. It doesn't remember, no signs happening. Okay, so let me go to help. Let me go to remind him and help him to be liberated from pig's body and such pig's conditioning. So Brahmaji came and cutting short, I'm trying to tell this story brief. Just try and tell it in a precise way. So Brahmaji came before Indra in the form of the body of pig, found him enjoying, very greatly enjoying with all family life, children eating so much stool and this and that. Brahmaji said, Listen to me. You are Indra. Do listen? Attention. Pay attention to me. I have come here to liberate you. I'm a great friend of yours. So be attentive. Okay. The leader pig, head of the family. The Indra in the body of the head pig. Okay, so yes, what are you telling me? See, now your time has arrived to be liberated from your pig's life and go back to the heaven. Says, what are you talking about? I don't understand. What is heaven? Why should I be liberated from this life? I am fine. I'm living so happily, enjoying my family life. Why have you come to me to speak about liberation? Do I have better life compared to this? I'm quite happy and fine. Okay, I have no time to listen. Again, busily occupied with this pig's life. Again, Brahmaji said, you don't understand because your consciousness lowered down so much. You become so thickly conditioned that you have even lost the higher sense to even compare what is heavenly life and pig's life, between heavenly life and pig's life. So listen to me. Be prepared. You follow my instructions, then you'll be naturally liberated from pig's body, pig's family, and you come back to heaven's life. That is your real life. Real life waiting for you, higher life waiting for you. Then pig, head pig looked at him. Said, what are you talking about? Please don't disturb me. I am living a very happy family life over here. I don't want to leave. I don't want to be liberated. Then Brahmaji found, there is no way. Then he just became cruel. He became a bit cruel to be kind to him. Kill that head pig. Again became cruel to be kind. Okay. And as soon as that pig's body got killed, that he found himself in the body of Indra consciousness, like waking up from a dream, woke up. And then he could realize, basically, originally I'm Indra. So long, he is my great friend. Out of great mercy, he came to me to liberate me. I could not understand. I was misunderstanding him. Now he broke down in tears of gratitude. Same person broke down in tears of gratitude, being full obeisance to Brahmaji, saying, you are my savior. And then at some point, he got full liberation and went back and became Indra in the heaven again. So, this is an extreme example. People may ask me, are you considering material things with the, pig stuffs? You are being so strong and heavy, criticizing material things. We cannot live our life without. Well, I'm using some extreme example in order to make comparison, between the supremely nectarian, transcendental wealth and our life in nectarian life in divinity, transcendence, compared to the taste and quality and standard, very high standard of our transcendental life, divine, full of nectar, nectarian bliss. Material life is like that pig's life. It may seem to be a very strong example, but it is truth, comparatively. Otherwise, normally, It's all fine. Normal is just fine and normal and natural type. So, it's like when you go very high and high to the highest level, from that standard you look down and things, in comparison, things look low to lower to lowest, small, smaller, smallest. Okay? So it is by comparative examples. So that's how I'm using. Okay? But of course, I don't really mean in a black and white way, all the material things are like pig stops or hog stops. But anyway, hog stops are also one of the material stops included in the material beings and material stops, not outside that. To them, it's just fine and normal. For the hogs and pigs to be living their life in that state, just very normal and healthy and okay, enjoyable. Okay. So, but from the human stand, we cannot appreciate stools and all filthy stuffs like the way hogs does. So hogs may complain, why are you considering our stuffs to be so bad? It's comparatively understood in that way. From the hog's level, it's not that bad, it's good. But from human standard, unhealthy, very bad. Both have truths, some realities of different levels, relative levels. So while I am comparing all the material stuffs without, I repeat, when we are going to compare all these material stuffs, which is just material stuff without any connection of higher God consciousness, divine realities, only material stuffs. So comparison, these material stuffs become so low class, considered very low class, that of very low quality compared to the very high, nectarine, divine quality of lifestyle in Krishna consciousness. This way. So back to the point. Why do we worship material things? Means why do we love to enjoy material things in our life? Because the first way of answer is because we are living within this material world. Simply, we are living on the material plane of existence. In this material world, we are embraced. Okay, we are surrounded by different types of material stuffs. Okay, this is as it is, just mundane world. Basically, we are living in this material world. So our life, also the way we are living our life, all matter-oriented too. Okay. On the material plane, we are living with all material things. That's how it is designed. That's how such material plane of existence, that material plane of our being, material plane of our existence is so designed that while we are living in this mundane or material world, we are living with the material stuffs as befitting to this plane, to this material plane. We are not living in the spiritual plane, although spiritual activities, higher spirit and spiritual consciousness is there, because our material life cannot be going on its own. It is not qualified. It all be dead. Without spirit, all the material things we worship in your language, all the material stuffs we worship, we're so attached to it. We love to enjoy them. So, but we cannot even feel any attachment towards those material stuffs. We can enjoy them if there is no spirit in all those material beings. There is no spiritual connection, life connections, even with those material stuffs. So, one of the reasons we also worship material things because there is some spiritual utility of those material stuffs, okay, in our higher spiritual life, in developing spiritually also. So they are not only material things, okay. So, for example, see, we consider ourselves materially conditioned. We have got material body, okay. We have got material body, our biological body is made of matter. So we have got material bodies, material mind conditions. But while we question ourselves in in-depth manner, in other words, while we are questioning, we have a deep look into our being, our lifestyle. Are we fully material? No. Our material body is also combined with spirit. In every cell, in every protoplasm, like on every protoplasm, every cell, in every atom, biological body, life is existing. Therefore, it's called living body. We are alive. As soon as the life potency, the potency of life is withdrawn from this material body, then it becomes really a dead material body, material stuff. Otherwise, it's not completely dead material body because our body is combined with spirit, with life force, with life power. So, similar way, when you look around, you find so many matters, material things. From the outer aspect, from the outer or external views, they all look like just dead matters, only matters only. But if we have a close look into their being, those material beings also have existence. They have got entity, they have got certain chemical effects, certain physiological effects, chemical effects into our life, while those material stuffs come in interaction. They come into interaction in our life because we cannot live our material life without using them, without utilizing them. Okay? So then we understand all these material stuffs also have got some spiritual elements, some spiritual potency, some spirit aspects, spirit potency within those material things, which help to maintain our life, which helps allow to maintain our life, sustain our life, nurture our life. Because we do find some energy of sustenance, maintenance, nutrition, nurturing from the material stuffs also. In order to live our life. But the thing is that, truth is that, the sustenance, all the maintenance, energy of maintenance, energy of sustenance, the nurturing energy we receive from the material stuff, actually spiritual. Because only life energy can help life. A dead material energy cannot help life. Okay. Matter can be complementing to matter, dead matter kind. But matter cannot be complementing to life being. Life energy requires. Life energy is required in order to be nurtured, in order to nurture our life. Okay, so it's coexistent, matter and life, matter and spirit, material beings, spiritual beings coexistent in this material world. So back to the point. Why we worship material things we love? Because number one, firstly we're born and brought up in this material world. So we have been posted in this material world to live our life. So naturally, we have to cope with the environment. We have to live our life, flow accordingly, okay, befitting to the material environment in order to survive, in order to be maintained and sustained. So as long as we accept the utility of all the material things in our life to promote our higher life, to promote our life which is divine, more positive, okay, instead of promoting the normal, common, gross type of life, then it's good practice. There's nothing wrong accepting material things as it is required, okay, as it is necessary in our life for survival, for maintenance and sustenance, nurturing, living our life. This is following the principle of Yukta Vairagyam. I repeat, again following the principle of Yukta Vairagyam, that of living a balanced life, okay, balanced lifestyle, that of Yukta Vairagyam is recommended by Lord Krishna in Bhagavad Gita. In your life, accept everything, accept all your material things, everything according to your necessity. Never go for accepting things more than your requirement, not that, neither that nor less than requirement. So follow the middle path, well-balanced path, well-balanced principle in your life, that you accept everything as per your requirement. So accept everything according to your requirement, no more than your requirement, no less than your requirement. Because if you accept things more than your requirement, it will become burden, you will become exploiter, you will be living your life at the cost of other lives, other beings, okay, with excessive accumulation of wealth and, okay, and things for enjoyment at the cost of other beings and other lives. When you are accepting things more than your necessity, then it is over acceptance of things will actually make you sick also, like overeating, oversleeping. If somebody wants to sleep more and more, at some point he cannot even lay down on bed. He will get so sick. So see, oversleeping actually so unhealthy, it destroys the happiness of sleeping. Ultimately, overeating also destroys the happiness of eating, enjoying eating. So in a similar way, so Krishna says, follow the principle of Yukta Vairagyam, principle of balanced life. So when you accept anything, things more than your necessity, over acceptance actually causing damage, causing harm to your real healthy life. It becomes a burden. It brings extra anxiety, concern in your life. That's what will happen. That's what we see in the lives of the mafias or some rich political leaders and mafias and all. From the outside, it is seen, their lifestyle is seen to be, they're living such big, rich, powerful life, a successful life. But as soon as you have close insight, close look into their life, it is a hellish. The kind of lifestyle they live, a hellish lifestyle. Okay, so unhappy, hellish lifestyle, so unhappy all the time. They're all the time, most of the time, living under fear of death, living under the life threatens. Anytime they can get killed, anytime they will be facing betrayal because of lot of riches and money. Okay, they simply rise up through the path of blood and treachery and betrayal and dirty politics and this and that. Okay, instead of noble human principles and qualifications, through cheating and hypocrisy. Okay, and so yeah, it's a bad lifestyle, but looking so good from far distance. It's an illusory concept. But see, so much, having so much power, so much riches, so much ability, but not respected by the people. Okay, living life in the prison, not being respected by the people. People are hating them. Okay, people don't believe in them. Okay, they are big killers, murderers. Okay, being so cruel to so many and becoming so kind to others, taking care of others like big mafias, or to them, they are so nice, generous person, noble guys. To others, they are killers. Okay, so they've got so much riches, also so much fear with it. Riches will be taken away, wealth will be taken away. You'll get murdered because of money, So cannot even be keeping so many bodyguards every time, living under the threat of death. Any moment can be killed. Whom he doesn't have the fortune, he or she doesn't have the fortune of even having faith, trusting someone. He cannot sleep peacefully in the life, surrounded by the bodyguards and never knowing, even the bodyguards, whether they will betray with him or not. See, okay, so getting so much humiliated, insulted, disrespected while exposed to be great cheaters like some of the exploiting political leaders being thrown into jail and all. So what's the use of having so much money and power, so-called power, and this kind of life when you cannot even peacefully live it, when you cannot have a peaceful, happy life, you cannot sleep peacefully, you cannot eat peacefully. Okay, you cannot be following noble human principles, noble human, qualities. You cannot have fortune to have trust, put trust in someone, because anytime you are surrounded by the cheaters and betrayers, because you have got that kind of company, because that's the way you are. That's the association environment you have chosen, you have made around yourself. So what can you expect from them? When you are living, when you have been habituated, you have been used to live a life amidst cheating, in hypocrisy, in dirty politics, in murdering, killing, okay, in acquiring wealth by hook or by crook. What better lifestyle can we expect? So why I'm giving this such example? So from outside looks to be fine, they're living very powerful life, okay, controlling others. But actually, when you look deep to their life is very distressful, very troublesome, very unhappy. Rather, some simple people having simple life, they are rather more peaceful and happy. The common people in the society rather have the fortune to live a more peaceful, compared to the more peaceful, happy, more respectable and respectful life. Okay, more sattvic, life in the mode of goodness compared to those evil mafias, evil political leaders, exploiting, although they're having satanic power, evil power and positions. What's the use, finally? So, why I'm giving such examples? So, we should not be attached upon seeing some external, grandeur of the material things, material stuffs, okay, and we should not be so attached and addicted for the overutility of all the material things, like engaging in worshipping material things. I want more and more and more. There's no end of my wanting. I become so greedy and greedy. There's no end of my greediness for acquiring more and more material stuffs. Then at some point it becomes excessive. They're excessively accumulated in my life. They become simply burden instead of helping my life. Instead of helping me, favoring me, those material things can be a great disfavor. They can cause to be great disfavor. They can be great burden, trouble in my life. So instead of helping me. But as long as we accept those material things according to our necessity to live our life on this material plane, befitting to our requirement, okay, no more than requirement, no less than requirement. If you accept things more than your necessity, then you become sick due to, overburden of accumulation. And when you accept things less than your requirement, then you are lacking, you are missing, you become weak. There is no sufficient supply, no enough supply of your nutrition, not enough supply of your need, okay? So you don't get enough nurturing and sustenance because you are accepting things less than your necessity. That is also not good. So the balanced principle of Yukta Vairagam in relation to how we'll be using, how we'll be connecting and utilizing material things in our life, free from overestimation and underestimation of them, free from overuse and underuse of them in our life. Okay. Just accepting according to the necessity, as it is prescribed and recommended, meant for me. And that is free from exploitation or austere sacrifice, following the balanced principle. Then if we can accept all the material things in our life with proper utility, with the principle of properly utilizing them with proper utility, with all positive spirits, then it is very good. Then there is nothing wrong with the acceptance, okay? Utilizing all the material things in our life, because we cannot live our life without them on this material plane, okay? So that is not considered like worshipping material things. Over-attachment, overuse becomes misuse. So over-attachment, overuse, over-exploiting implementation and use of the material things more than our necessity is actually prohibited. That is bad. But the very proper use, proper acceptance of them according to our need is quite okay. That is favorable to life of Krishna consciousness. Because at that time, in that way, acceptance of the material things in our life doesn't affect us materially. It can help us spiritually too. It doesn't limit us just materially, illusory, material way only, okay, limiting mundane way, but it helps us spiritually when we know how to accept them and use them, utilize them in favor of life of Krishna consciousness, life divine. So it's all depending on use, all depending on proper use and misuse. All right. Okay. I have not taken over 1 hour extra almost.
It's fine. So we'll do from 6 to 8.
Okay.
Question?
Question also, you want to allow me the time for questioning further? Okay, sure. If anyone has. Or the way I explain is thorough. So after this thorough explanation, I'm also curious what question.
Yes, Guru Maharaj. I've been listening to your explanation, and my mind was talking to me, So we see some people who enjoy, so they call it minimalistic lifestyle. So they get rid of everything they have. They have the basic things, and it's kind of a trend nowadays. But of course, there are always people who say, no, I can't live without my stuff. I'm a maximalist, right? So they have everything. So I just what is kind of the criteria that help us to do our calculations right? So not to overestimate, not to underestimate. So like one other example, for example, somebody may say, oh, I think that 1 car in our family is not enough, right? I think I need 2 cars, yeah? So, okay, this is one example. Some other person may have and he decide what car to buy. Somebody will say something basic, right? But other person will say, oh, I need the newest brand. I need the most expensive car, right? Because I'm investing money. So is that too much or not too much? Some people can have this different estimations of what they need.
Very good question. Very practical. From the very grossly materialistic stand, the people, many people will never think when they will never think that they're actually accepting many things which is beyond their requirement. Okay, so overly, they're accepting many things more overly and excessively compared to what they actually need, okay, to live a happy, healthy life. Because in the material life, a lot of illusions. So lot of illusions and illusory